Hello football fans, and especially hello Philadelphia Eagles fans, to our first update for the preseason. And I want this to be quick. I want this to be informative, not all drawn out. Got a lot to talk about going to the first open practice of two that the Eagles have. One of them is being August 4th, which was yesterday, and the next one being August 9th, both at the Linc. First, the logistics of actually getting there. I'm coming from right outside of West Philly. I actually take the other route. I take a route going down 476 and coming up 95. Sometimes I find it a lot easier to go that way instead of sitting in traffic. There was work that was getting done on 95, so taking that 76 exit. Don't forget, you can get off on 76, and when you go up that bridge, instead of making the left like you go into the city and starting heading 76 west, you can head straight and then make that right, and you're right at the stadiums. People that sat in that traffic, take 76 next time, because I was driving my Jeep and I just went over that little barrier thing and went that way. As for parking was not a problem on Tuesday, not at all. I found a spot actually right next to Xfinity Live and walked right in. As you know, the parking's free, the practice is free. You don't need anything, you just walk right in. You just make sure not to bring a knife or anything, but everything's free going in. I brought my daughter, she's 5 years old, which is my disclosure, the reason why I was only there for about an hour and a half or 2 hours or so. I wasn't there for the entire practice. I wish I was, but I want to be a good dad and not have to pay for therapy later. The reason why Daddy made me stay at the practice when I wanted to go because I was too hot. And I'm 5 years old and I don't appreciate this yet. Whatever. That's my daughter impersonation. But anyway, on to what we actually saw on the field. Of course, they played music, all that stuff, whatever. Let's talk about actual people I watched. I'm not going to pretend like I watched absolutely everybody, but this is what I saw. Of course, keeping quarterbacks last. Saw Maxwell. Maxwell looked like he was keeping things light. He looked like he was having good rapport with the other people in the secondary, and that was a good sight to see. He looked nice and comfortable. For the running backs, it was kind of cool. We were honoring, for different reasons, you know how the Eagles always bring somebody back. Ball Halter was on the field. They honored Brian Westbrook because he's actually going to get his number, or not, he's going to be on our Ring of Fame on the Giants game in October this year. So he came out, everybody was really hyped up about that. And of course, as you know, Deuce Staley's one of the coaches. They introduced him as well, and everybody, of course, went, Deuce! Pretty loud. So we had the three-headed monster that we had in the early 2000s when we were going to all those championship games. Now we have a new three-headed monster. Darren Sproles. Everybody knows what you get with Darren Sproles, and it's awesome. Ryan Matthews we got from San Diego, and DeMarco Murray from the Cowboys. Murray looked comfortable being the #1 starter. Ryan Matthews looked like he had something to prove. And he was diving all over the place. He was catching balls. He was doing his best, and I like seeing that. So the people that think that it's just going to be Murray, I know that Matthews, when he gets in, he's going to want to make a difference. So he looks hungry. That was good. Saw some good play by my guy that I'm picking to be our breakout guy that nobody's really zoning in on is Josh Huff. Josh Huff looks like he's ready to go, and I can't wait. I hope he's our #3 wide receiver, because if he's paired up against the other team's nickel, then I think we have the definite advantage there. Jordan Matthews just looks like an absolute professional. He just looks like he just wants to keep working to be the best wide receiver ever. And our rookie, Aguilar, has definitely showed a lot of talent, a lot of speed. He was returning some kicks, so he did turn some heads, and that was really cool. For the defense, it's interesting seeing Kiko Alonso out there on the field. Kiko Alonso isn't that big, but that guy is fast. He looked faster than Michael Kendricks, would look really fast, but Michael Kendricks is also bigger. So I'm wondering where they're going to put Kiko as far as they're going to just put him for passing downs or what. Miko had to kind of stay out. I think he got dehydrated or so I wasn't really zoning in on him. Connor Barwin looks like an absolute beast. He looks like a beast. He looked bigger than Graham, but Graham looked pretty decent. But I was watching Connor Barwin a little bit. That guy looks like a beast, along with Fletcher Cox. I don't know what he ate during the offseason or how many people he ate, but man, that guy looks big, he looks fast, and he looks like he's about to beat up some offensive linemen. So he looked well. And then, of course, I was watching a lot of the quarterbacks. Now, Let's go from least grade. I really didn't watch Barkley that much, to be honest. I really wanted to see if there's really a battle between Tebow and up. And I'm a Tebow fan. I'm rooting for him. I want him to do well. Tebow looked like garbage. I have to say it. I'm an honest evaluator, and his passes were all over the place. All over the place. It looked, I can't even compare it to the McNabb stuff, throwing it in the ground. But Tebow was high, he was low, he was all over the place. Mark Sanchez, I know what I said about last year. I'm not a huge Sanchez fan, but he looks like a very solid backup. And the reason why I say it, because I'm comparing him to what I saw to Sam Bradford. I absolutely am psyched about Sam Bradford. Tell you why. So we're looking at the short passing drills, right? They're like 10 yards out maybe. And they're passing it, and Bradford and Sanchez were on target. Both of them on target. You see a little bit more zip with Bradford, but they were both on target. They didn't have a problem with either one of them. Like I said, Tebow was just all over the place, so that was just a little frustrating. And yeah, I did yell to him about it. Along with yelling at Marcus Smith about earning his first-round draft pick, especially since Travis Long is out now. But what really opened my eyes was when they were doing those like 40-yard bombs, 40, 45-yard bombs. Sanchez, I saw on his throws, was arcing them a whole lot more. Still getting in, nice and easy. When Bradford threw, it was like a missile. It was like just right on target. I didn't see him for the time that I was there. I didn't see him off target like once. It was very awesome to see, and it was very encouraging from that standpoint. But then, of course, the questions do come up. He's got to stay healthy. If that knee stays healthy and his offense gels, then I think we can seriously compete in the NFC, because there's not that many dangerous, super dangerous offenses. I mean, you have to give definite respect to Green Bay, definite respect to other teams. We'll just keep it at that. I don't want to get into it. I want to talk about the Eagles. But Bradford looks like the real deal for real. And we're going to roll the dice. Chip Kelly said himself, about 11, 12% of people get that injury again, minus Travis Long, but get that injury again. So we're looking at like an 88% chance that Bradford's going to be healthy throughout the year. That's a chance you take. You got to take chances, you got to take risks if you want to win the whole thing. Starting off, of course, is the first practice. It's the first practice. I remember when we had the Dream Team year and everybody looked great in practice. So it's going to be a lot different when we put pads on, a lot different when the games count. But it's very, very encouraging to see how Bradford was throwing and on target and just concise and right there. So I really enjoyed that. So overall, the trip was a success. I don't live too far away from the stadium, so I can drive there and back. If you're coming down there from somewhere else, because I was sitting next to somebody from the middle of Pennsylvania, and this was the first time for them to have the Linc. I highly encourage for you to go, bring the family, make a day out of it. If you have questions, I'm not just an Eagles nut, I'm a Philadelphia nut, so you can ask me whatever questions you want. I want to help guide you and direct you in the city of Philadelphia to have an awesome day. The other open practice is on Sunday, which should be a little bit more packed. I didn't have a problem with parking, maybe because it was on Tuesday, so I was able to park easy. Of course, the option is you can park in Center City at 15th and Spring, because it's $5 all day, right? Park there and then take the subway down, which is something we would have to do anyway during game day, so you might as well get used to it now. So it's okay to take SEPTA. It's all right, and it doesn't cost that much. It costs like $2.25 to go all the way from Center City down there. So there's a lot of different ways, and just enjoy yourself, have a good time. Everything was free except for the food, so eat a little bit before you get in there because it's pretty expensive. I had to buy a $4 water for my daughter. So other than that, that's the report from Philadelphia, and just looking forward to when football starts. We're so close. But until then, go Birds.